Hello, lovely people. It's that time again where we meet so that we can talk and chat about everything and anything that is on your mind. And remember, we are Love Life NGO. We still remain the youth advocate that we've always been, and we're still pressing and continue saying that we are here for the young people, with the young people, and everything that we do is all about you. So as a young person, remember, this is your platform. You are the one who needs to be here. You are the one who needs to be engaging us. You are the one who needs to talk to us about any issue that you feel is of importance to you and that we need to address. Like I always emphasize, please, 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 never ever underestimate the extent of the challenges that you are facing. No problem is deemed less important. Anything that gives you a headache, anything that causes you to have a sleepless night, anything whatsoever that makes you to feel uncomfortable is a concern and needs to be addressed. And that's what psychosocial support is here for. As a psychosocial support team, our duty and mandate is to ensure that you always have someone who can help you and guide you, especially emotionally, on how to cope with the different challenges and issues that we face on a day-to-day basis, because we know life is very unpredictable. Nobody knows what tomorrow might hold, but at the end of the day, it is very impossible for us to know that regardless of the challenges that we face, regardless of all these hiccups and humps and bumps that we come across, at the end of the day, we always have someone who has our back, and that is Love Life. The counselors are always here for you so that they can guide you, give you counseling, talk to you about anything that is draining you emotionally, anything that is worrying you, anything that is of concern for you. And for you to be able to reach out to those counselors, all that you need to do is send a please call me to 083-323-1023. That is 083-323-1023, and they will definitely get back to you. Remember that you can also find us on Facebook, Love Life NGO. You can inbox your questions, your comments, your queries. You can be part of the conversation. And you can also find us on Instagram as well, Love Life NGO. We are always there for you. So that as a young person, if there's anything that you want to talk about, please, 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 please remember that you are welcome. Feel free. There are no limitations. Just be yourself and engage with us so that we can have a proper and fruitful discussion as always. And the good thing, my people, remember, you can't and you are allowed and you need to feel free. Actually, you must. How? Bafethu. You must just send a request to go live with me so that we can have any discussion that you feel that is important. Anything that is on your mind, where your thoughts are, so that we can be able to engage and have a fruitful discussion about anything that is worrying you. Whether you want to know what Love Life is, because there's some people who will still be asking, oh, Love Life still exists. Yes, we are still very much alive. We are still very much existing, and definitely we are here to stay. So what you need to do is just to engage with us on conversation so that we can always discuss and know what's trending, what's happening as a young person, what's your mind at, so that we can be on the same path with you. You are the people who are guiding us. As a young person, we follow on your footsteps. If your mind is on 70 and we are still on 10, we are left behind. So as a young person, talk to me. So let's engage so that we can know where your mindset is at and what is worrying you, what is pressing at the moment, what is it that we need to be discussing, and what is it that we need to be aware of. Remember, this is a platform for us to be educational. You are learning from me as much as I'm learning from you. So please, all those thoughts, all those ideas, all those requests, they are more than welcome. Anything that is on your mind, just drop them in our inbox. Request to go live. Let's have a fruitful discussion. Remember, on the live session, there is no right or wrong answer. There is no right or wrong question. Anything that you have in mind, any suggestion, any question, regardless of how you might deem your question unimportant, to us it is very vital, because if it wasn't important, you wouldn't have even been thinking about it. So today, as always, hopefully I'll be having those people who care enough to consider me that I cannot be talking alone. They'll be going live with me so that we can have a fruitful engagement and talk on one of the most important topics, which is the boy child. We all know that when we are growing up, we are raised in that manner that a girl child is sensitive and a girl child needs extra protection. But the reality is that the very same boy child that we are neglecting also needs the same care. When it comes to kids or when it comes to siblings, they need to be treated the same. If we can look at the trends, for example, violence, BEGBV, at the end of the day, there are always underlying issues that are causing for this violent behavior to be generated from the boy child. Be it experience, be it the environment that they grew up in, be it how they were treated growing up, be it the observations that they're making around the society. At the end of the day, there are always underlying issues that causes our boy kids to always be on the negative side of the law, or not to be doing things that are deemed to be professional or to be normal by society. So it is very important for us as parents, especially, to have this discussion around the boy kids, to know that your boy child is as much important as your girl child. As a parent, you are never ever allowed to have favorites. As a parent, you cannot be putting yourself in a position where you say you prefer or you favor this one child more than the other child just because the other one is a girl, or the other one is a boy. At the end of the day, all kids deserves to be given the same love, care, and respect, and most importantly, protection. If you don't protect your boy child, who is supposed to do so? We know, we do see on the news, we do see on social platforms, we do see on different platforms that are available. There are always news about boy kids being molested, about boy kids being bullied, about boy kids being physically abused, even emotionally so. That goes to show that as parents, we need not to be neglecting our boy kids just because of their gender. Being a boy doesn't make you any less of a child. Regardless of your child being a boy, they still require your protection. They still require you to be there for them. If you are not supportive to your boy child, if you are not there for your boy child, if you are not showing your boy child love, who is supposed to do that? So parents, I humbly request to you, when it comes to the boy child, please keep in mind that child is just as much your DNA as your girl child. And there is no such thing as saying that their personalities are different. Yes, the gender is different, but they have the same feelings. They have the same blood. They have the same emotions. So what is it as parents that makes us to believe that boy kids' emotions are more stronger than the girl child? That is not fair. So all the boy kids need protection. They need to be loved. They need to be spoiled. They need to be pampered just as much as the girl child is being pampered. This will also help us to try and limit certain things that goes along with, for example, if we look at things such as violence. If we look at violence, in most instances, we'll be saying that a boy child is doing so because he is more powerful. But that is not necessarily the case. What if the very same child is just only portraying a behavior that was being displayed? What if the environment that this child is coming from is an environment that taught him from the beginning that as a boy child, you are not supposed to cry. As a boy child, you are not supposed to show emotions. As a boy child, you are not allowed to be weak. You always need to be strong. You only need to use power. You only need to use force for you to solve any issue that you are coming across. Then at the end of the day, whose fault is it? It's the parent's fault. As a parent, what did you teach your child? We know there'll be other people who'll be thinking that if you are nurturing, protecting, or caring for your boy child, you are actually turning your child into a crybaby or a mama's boy. It's okay. Let your son be your mama's boy. At the end of the day, you know that you are raising a child that will know that when it comes to caring and protection and loving, that is unconditional. Rather raise a child who is content emotionally. Rather raise a child who knows that he's being loved. Rather raise a child who knows that he has a safe haven, that is his family to tend to, should he encounter any challenges whatsoever out there, rather than raising a child who only seeks to use violence and strength or even power to solve whatever challenges that they come across. So parents, I therefore request, your boy child matter. Your boy child is important just as much as your girl child. Do not overlook the extent of emotional damage that can happen to your boy child just because it's a he. He is still your baby. He is still your child. So please ensure that you take care of your child, and at most important, never ever make your child feel unimportant. Always put your kids first. Remember guys, you can request to go live with us so that we can have a fruitful discussion. Like I said, remember this platform is a free flowing platform. There are no limitations. You shouldn't be thinking just because you're talking boy child, if you have something different on your mind despite boy child, that doesn't mean that you don't have to go live. You go live about anything that is on your mind, whether it's relationships, whether it's school, whether mujolo, anything that you feel that I need to know about STIs, I need to know about contraceptives, anything that is on your mind. Remember, we are here for you. Just request to go live with us so that we can have a fruitful discussion and have that discussion that will always take perspective. As I always say, please send those requests so that we can go live. Remember, being live doesn't mean that you need to be right. It doesn't mean that you need to be preparing yourself. It just means you need to be present. If you are present, we just talk. Yeah, okay, at least somebody thought of me, that I don't need to talk alone today. Hey, hello, Dr. Linda.
Okay, I've got you.
Can you hear me, Dr. Linda?
See, hi. You know what? I've been following you on Facebook, so yeah. It's like I'm a few minutes behind.
Oh, so we are not on the same path. You catching up after me. You are busy following. Okay, no problem. We'll try and see how we can try and manage that. But good afternoon, Dr. Linda. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you very much for making time to join me today. At least you saw that I'm an orphan. I'm always talking alone. So today I've got a partner. I won't be talking alone today.
Yeah.
Okay, today, Doctor, I understand that we are talking about an issue or a topic that is very close to your heart, which is the boy child campaign. So if you were to briefly just tell us, how long have you been an advocate for the boy child campaign? Network. You see, network is very jealous. Okay, lovely people, as well, while we are trying to connect to Dr. Linda, let's continue with what is on your thought. Remember that the platform is for you. All that you need to do is to be open-minded. All that you need to do is say whatever is it that is on your mind. All you need to do is talk to me. Let's engage. Let's have a discussion. Remember, this platform is for you, about you, and with you. If you are not here, then there's no platform. Okay, seems like we have reconnected again, Dr. Linda. Before we were cut off, Dr. Linda, I just wanted to know from your side, how long have you been an advocate for the boy child?
Well, that's an interesting question you're asking me. Maybe let me tell you the story of how I got to realize that there's a gap in 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 um in a focus on the boy child. So I joined Love Life in June of 2015. And I remember on the first day at Love Life, as I was undergoing orientation and getting to an understanding of what the organization does and the programs it offers, I remember asking the then CEO that everything that you're doing here seems to be centered on girls. What's happening with boys? Why are we not doing anything for boys? And she said, "Oh, it's because the girl child is the most vulnerable person in society, and our funders want us to be focusing on the girl child, and so that's why we do stuff for girls. But we do include boys in most of what we do, but we do have this focus on girls." And I think that's the start of where I realized that, hang on a minute. In the sector that is really focused on development and addressing social ills and gaps, if the boy child is not being spoken about by one of the biggest, or if not the biggest youth organization in the country, then we've definitely got a gap. So I reckon informally around about June 2015. And then 2017, when I became the CEO and was in a position to shape what programs we want to do as an organization, I then sold it to our board of trustees that we do need to have a focus on the boy child.
Interesting. So boy kids has always been something that is close to your heart. So you just observe the gap at the first go. Dog, we are
not really. Not really. I'm the mother of a son, so I've got one child, and he's a boy. So I'm always, very keen to see what's happening with boys. What are they getting up to? What are they worried about? And so on and so on. So it was natural for me to notice that there was a gap in terms of what was being done for boys.
Okay, Doc, specifically, why the boy child? We know a lot of people are busy focusing on GBV and other things. What is it that makes the boy child to be so close to your heart?
You've heard me say this before, but I don't think it gets said enough. The boy child is the most unheard person in society. Just think of it, if you've got access to children, young children. When a girl is crying, everybody opens their arms to comfort this child, and they sit on your lap and you put their head and you just nurture them. When a boy is crying, what's your first reaction? Why are you crying?
What's wrong?
What boy cries? Who made you cry? You go back and beat him. And so you know, that's just one of the many examples that I could use to show you that the boy child is just not a hurt person. Did you know that Sunday was the International Day of the Boy Child? Yes. And if you did, you are one of very few people who knows that Sunday was the International Day of the Boy Child. You know, if it was Mother's Day or Father's Day or International Day of the Girl Child, or Take a Girl Child to Work Day, the whole country would have known it in one way or another. It would have been radio, it would have been on social media. But the only people that knew that there was International Day of the Boy Child are pretty much those who are working with boys. And even in that sector, it's not everybody who knew that there's an International Day of the Boy Child. And the interesting thing about the International Day of the Boy Child is not a day that the United Nations recognizes. So I was on a panel that was put together by the Gauteng Department of Social Development Men's Sector on Sunday. And they invited a doctor, I can't remember how you say his name, Dr. Jerome Telesing or something. And he is the father of the International Day of the Boy Child. And he is the person who said, we need a day where the whole world is recognizing boys and men. And so I asked him, to what extent have you gotten commitment from the UN for this to be a UN recognized day, just like we've got International Day of the Girl Child being recognized by the United Nations? And he said, well, the UN said they can't put something like that unless it's brought to a General Assembly as a resolution by a country. And there's not been one country that's brought that as a resolution. What does that tell you? Yeah.
Very interesting. So, Dr. Linda, as a mother of a boy child, what recommendations would you have, especially to the young people out there who are raising boy kids as well?
Well, first of all, I think
you would emphasize on looking out for?
So I think I'm not just the mother of a boy child, I'm a single mother of a boy child. So I've been raising my son on my own since he was 3 years old. And I would talk to the fact that I hate the narrative that says when children are raised in homes that have no fathers, they are dysfunctional. When children are raised in dysfunctional homes, they are dysfunctional. It doesn't matter whether that home is a single parent home or a dual parent home. If there's dysfunctionality in the home, in the community, in the society, it's going to feed into the children. So the advice that I would give to anybody, whether in the single or a joint a home setup, is that your home should be the safest place for your child. They should be, we need to create an enabling environment in our homes where we can discuss anything and everything with our children, where our kids don't fear to tell us anything, whether good or whether bad, where they know that the love that we have for them is unconditional. We will love them no matter what. And when they mess up, we're going to help them to navigate life and overcome that mess up. And one of the things that has played a big role in my life has been being able to find family friends, to make friends that have got the same kind of moral fabric that I have, the same kind of values and ethics that I have, and expose my son to those men. So we, forever and a day, we had a fabulous family of Gail and Victor Masondo. And Vic was my son's spiritual father. If it was Father's Day, Vic would be the Father's Day person, you know, that they're going out for lunch. They would have teas together. They would hang out together. And what that gave him was a positive role model to look up to. a man that's got solid values that could teach him how to be a man, because there's limitations to what I could teach him as a mother. So it's about being able to create that environment, a nurturing environment in the home, and then looking around your networks. Where are the people that you can plug into? Plug your son for mentoring and for role modeling and for just to teach him how to be a man.
Okay, I like the point that you made there, Dr. Linda, that most people still believe that just because a child is misbehaving or just because a child is showing a strength of violence is simply because they were not raised by a father. But there are kids who grew up with their father present from the day that they were born up until God knows whenever, but they still show the very same tendencies, like the very same one who was raised by a single parent. So I like that term. I like that line. I'm actually adopting it. As long as there is dysfunction, the child is bound to have dysfunctional behavior.
Yeah.
Thank you, Doc. So, Doctor, looking at your experience and so far dealing with this boy-child campaign, what are the things that you can highlight as most the key influencers to a boy-child's behavior?
Like I said, boys will copy what is modeled to them. So you'll find that being part of a gang is normal for human beings. We always want to be part of a tribe. We want to belong. We want to have a network of sorts. And I think that's what they're looking for. It's belonging. So the important thing is to define what is a safe space where my son can be part of a tribe. I mean, you've got Boy Scouts. I can use Scouts as an example. That is tribing and ganging, for lack of a better word, but in a positive sense. So boys are looking to belong. Like I said earlier, they are looking for people that can show them how to be boys. And if we don't expose them to positive masculinity, then they're going to be idolizers of gangsters and of thieves and of criminals, simply because we have failed to be able to provide those positive role models that they need in their lives. We have failed to provide environments where boys can be nurtured, where they can be celebrated, where they can be supported, where they can be affirmed. So if that doesn't come from a positive space, then it's going to come from gangsterism and from drugs and from where they get in the acceptance that they're desperately looking for. And that goes for girls as well. So it's not just peculiar to boys or to girls. It's a human being thing.
Okay, so positive acquaintance.
Positive networks, positive community, positive social plugs.
Engagement. So let the ganging be positive. Yes. As long as they are positive.
Yeah, if you think about it,
if
you think about it, at Love Life, the way in which we implement programs, we use peer mentors, right? And we use peer pressure for mentors to drive that behavior.
Yes.
It's a pity that peer pressure has been associated negatively, but there can be positive peer pressure, and it's about who are the peers who you're hanging around with. Yeah.
So it's all about the company and the
yes. Show me your friends.
Values, the norms, so the foundation counts.
Yes, the birds of a feather flock together. Show me your friends, and I'll tell you your character. The things. Yeah.
Okay, Doc. So, what would you say is the most important role that men are supposed to be playing in a boy child's life?
Like boys are looking for men to look up to teach them how to be a man, to teach them when you are a man, you're a protector. You're not a perpetrator. You nurture. You don't abuse. If I can use the wildlife environment as an example, some years ago, maybe 15 years ago, there was a documentary that was done of elephants in a game park. And the older bull elephants were removed from the main herd. And what the filmers of this documentary realized, that the younger bulls started going crazy in the herd. They were destructive. They were fighting. It was just bizarre. And so they're trying to look for the answer to what has led to this change in behavior. And they brought back the older bulls that had been removed and watched what were the dynamics with the herd. And what they found is that these older bull elephants, when a younger one got out of hand, they would see it raise the trunk and slap it on the side. They would see them use the tusks or to nudge them in a certain direction if they were going in the wrong direction. And that's basically what boys are looking for. They're looking for acceptance. They're looking for men to show them the way, the right way. They're looking for structure. They're looking for authority. That's what they're looking for. So they're not wanting, when you see your child running wild and amok, it's a cry for help. There's something lacking that's making him do the things he's doing, so you can pay attention to him. And so they're looking for boundaries. They're looking for somebody to say, hey, man, you know what? I smoked weed when I was younger. Don't go that route. It's self-destructive. They're looking for someone to say, oh man, a girl broke up with you. It's not the end of the world. Do you know how many girls broke up with me? Somebody who will say to them, don't force a girl to have to have sex with you. If she says no, take that no as a no, and don't internalize it as she's rejecting me. I'm going to show her. I'm going to force her. Men who will teach them respect, values of self-respect, of self-love, because it's only when I love myself, respect myself, that I can give that on to the other person. If I hate myself, how am I going to love the next person? If I have a low self-esteem, how will I respect the next person? So it's really having the men who are prepared to stand up in society. Men who will know that, you know what, my neighbor died and his wife is left with 3 teenage boys. Let me be the go-to malume for those teenage boys. Let me not leave it for her to figure it out, but be the one who's there when the boys are missing their father. I mean, important days like Father's Day, let it be the neighbor, let it be the church community that is coming together and saying there will be no fatherless child in this community as long as I am there and I am a man or I am a woman. I mean, we do it with children as mothers. There is no child that can be motherless and is not mothered by the mother's friends and the cousins and everybody else. We need to do the same for boys. We just need to mirror that for boys.
Okay, Doc, what is it that you would suggest as a country we do in order for us to continue empowering our boy kids?
So as a country, there is currently a program that falls under SANAC that is called Takuma Rime, all right? And it's a man's program. It's about, this is what the man in South Africa should be looking like. There is a program under the National Department of Social Development called Boys Making Change. And what we as a country should be doing is making sure that we are aware of what is it that we need to achieve, and how do I achieve it in my small corner. We cannot be having a narrative that says, oh, men are killing women and we've got a GBV problem, and leaving that discussion there. The discussion that we need to be having is one that says, we've got an issue, a pandemic of violence in South Africa. For 20,000 people that are killed in a year, 17,000 of those are men and boys. And we cannot then be saying the resources that we've got that are focused on GBV are going to be only focusing on rehabilitation of victims, on empowering of victims, and so on. We need to be saying, why can't we allocate resources to raising better boys so that we don't have to worry about who is the next person to be murdered, to be raped, who is the next woman or the next man or the next child that is going to be abused or killed or whatever the story is. But where we can say, our resources, we want every boy child in this country to be able to take part in an initiative, in a program, in whatever, whether it is through schools, whether it is after school activities that are teaching them moral values, that are teaching them certain ethical standards, that are teaching them, laying a foundation that the fruit of was not going to be murder and rape and violence and so on. And what we need, desperately need, as an organization that is also doing work around boys and young men, is one, we need to hear from boys and young men. And we need to start changing this narrative of men are trash. That narrative that we have given to boys is so wrong. We've incorrectly labeled them. We have beaten up their self-esteem. And we need to start changing that narrative. And we need to start allocating resources that are aimed at prevention rather than cure. We need to be raising boys that are spiritually aware, that are emotionally conscious. And there's, you know, this Dr. Jerome I was telling you about at the start of the conversation said something so profound. He said there is no vaccine that is going to create good boys. They're going to have to be taught. They're going to have to be raised. They're going to have to be nurtured into being good boys. So we need those resources. Yeah, imagine if every single radio station in the country said, once a week, I'm putting aside 30 minutes of airtime for conversations with boys and young men. It means, because every home has got access to a radio station, whether it's a commercial or a community radio station. But if we just limit it to, oh, we'll do it on social media, what about my kid at Ncube-Nkomo, who is in the depths of a rural village that has got no access to social media? How are they going to hear this conversation you and I are having? But if we had access to radio stations across the country, this conversation could be podcasted, or we could package it and send it out, and every single young man, every single boy child would be able to hear it and start to say, oh man, I'm special, I matter, I'm loved. You know, there's people who are looking out for me. When they say sawubona to me, they actually saying, we see you, we hear you, we love you, we're here for you, you know. That's really what we need to be, because it's all very well for it to be there at policy level. But if nothing is being implemented on the ground, it's as good as having a Bible on your bookshelf that you never open. It's not going to make a difference in your life.
No. Thank you for wrapping that up, Doc, that we need to really be on our hands and we need to stand up, work together, and just take this as a movement, as not something that is going to be a once-off. It's a continuing process. If we work together and join hands, we will keep pushing it. Okay, Doctor, we have a question here from Busi. Busi wants to know that how can she, as a young woman, have hope that the young men and the young boys are aware of the current GBV state in our country? And are there any chats or discussions that are going around where the men and the boy kids are actually talking about this GBV?
Well, I've already talked to what is being done by Takuma Rime, and the boys making change. But, you know, like I'm saying, that is like at too high level. Busi needs to be having conversations, all of us, not just let's take this home. You and I know when our brothers and our friends and our cousins are abusing their girlfriends and their partners and their children and their families. What are we doing about it? What are we saying about it? Because that's where we can make the change, in our immediate spaces. When I know that my brother is being abusive, and abuse is not, oh, I saw my sister-in-law with a blue eye. When I know that my brother deprives his family of what he is able to provide for them, and is not just to stress his wife, I need to call out that behavior. I need to call out that behavior. When I see my brother disrespecting his wife, his children, when I see my friend, when I see my son, if I've got a son who is married and is ill-treating his family, because it all starts in the home. And when these things are happening in the home, we know. And when our friends are telling us, we need to listen. And when our friends are in these abusive situations, we need to say, come on, girl, enough is enough. There's not a single person living in South Africa right now that would say they don't know about GBV. And conversations are not going to change it. It's how we behave that is going to be the driver of the change. And the thing, you know, Malebo, the thing with GBV, you know, a couple of years ago, as I've been going around talking to people that could be in a position to fund this initiative. I remember talking to a lady, an executive, and she was saying to me, you know, Linda, the thing with gender-based violence, when it's done in a marriage setup, it's very romantic. She said, there's nothing as romantic as a violent relationship, because your partner, when he's in public, people think you are the most loved human being on earth. He'll be holding your hand, he'll be kissing you in public, and all that behavior is intended such that when you do speak out, people will say, no way. Amen. Amen. You know? And so there is that piece where we say, man, the way, believe until you can prove that this person is lying about being abused. Believe it. And then there's us who say to our sisters-in-law, oh, my brother is harsh with you. It shows he loves you. You're the main chick. The main chick gets beaten up. There is no love that causes pain, whether it's emotional pain, mental pain, or physical pain. So we need to stop that nonsense that we promote. And that is forms of gender-based violence without necessarily killing a person or beating them up.
Okay, doctor. Another question from Sandile. Sandile wants to know that as a young man, what are the small things that he shouldn't turn a blind eye to in the community when it comes to empowering other fellow young men?
There's so many things that you shouldn't be turning a blind eye to. So I don't think there could be an exhaustive list. But when you know, and you know when something is wrong, the first time you see it, you get uncomfortable about it. And you need to listen to that discomfort. The way my friend talked to his girlfriend, be the guy that changes the environment where you are, Sandile. Be like beetroot. You know, when beetroot touches anything, that thing does not change the beetroot. It's the beetroot that changes that thing. So be the guy that about all Usandile will never beat up his girlfriend. Never, no matter what she can do, he will never do it. And Usandile will call you out when you are being rough with anybody. Usandile and you are fighting, he's going to say, hi, Bafethu, why can't you talk about this thing? Why are you behaving engati you know, nizinja ezingakhona ukukhuluma so ziyalumana? You know, why don't you reason it out? You've got to be that voice that's prepared to stand out and that's prepared to say a different message and exhibit a different behavior than everybody else around you.
Okay, I hope Sandile had that. Sandile, be the change that you want to see.
Be the beetroot. Voice. No, I don't even want you to be the beetroot that changes the environment.
Beetroot, Sandile, from today. Beetroot. Okay, doctor. Thank you very much for your time, doctor. It was a very fruitful session. I hope that even the people, the viewers out there, they have noted that a boy child needs care, they need nurturing, they need positive role models in order for them to turn into the good young people that we would like to see. So we should never, ever, ever continue rejecting or neglecting the boy kids, because they also need to be nurtured and to be groomed to become young, responsible men. So from your side, doctor, I don't know if there's anything still on your mind that you would like to wrap up with.
I think, you know, the onus is on every single one of us to stop the pandemic, not just of gender-based violence, but just of the streets being unsafe for every one of us. And the key, the root to that is really going to be in us raising better boys, because they are in most instances the perpetrators of most of what we see. And I don't say that in a judgmental manner to hashtag them, but to say that's the reality we face. It's not just the reality in South Africa, it's the reality in the world. You go to prisons, the biggest number of incarcerated prisoners are men. So it tells us a lot around where the solution lies. It lies with men. It lies in investing better in our boys. It lies in each one of us. We can't all be waiting for Lutuli House, how about it? please. You know, however,
You live forever.
no, not only that. I mean, if you look at the numbers of us on the ground versus the numbers in government, hi, Batu.
It's not
It's like
balancing.
expecting the CEO of Love Life to be having face-to-face contact with every young person in the country. It's just not possible. So it's about every young person who's come into contact with Love Life, whether as a peer educator or as a participant in a program, to take that message on. And that's when we're going to get the mass impact that we're looking for, by each one of us saying, I'm an advocate for the boy child. I understand the importance of empowering girls and making sure that girl children are not the ones who stay at home while boys go to school. But at the same time, we cannot create equality, want to achieve equality by creating inequality in another area. We've got to find the balance between the two.
Very fruitful. Thank you once again, Dr. Linda. Hopefully we'll be having more of these discussions so that we can continue empowering our young parents out there so that they can groom this young boy child. I know you have a lot of dedications to go to attend to. Thank you very much for your time, Doctor, and have a lovely afternoon.
Thank you. Thank you to everybody who tuned in, and go out and be the beetroot that makes a change in its environment. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Beetroot. Bye-bye, Doctor.
Bye.
Whew. After that, I feel like going home and sleeping. Okay, lovely people, that was a very interesting engagement about the Boy Child campaign. As you have heard, boy kids matters. Boy kids need those positive role models. Boy kids need those mothers to nurture them just as much as they nurture and protect the girl kids. Your child is still your child, regardless of the gender. Ensure that you keep ensuring that at the end of the day, you continue being supportive and you continue nurturing your child. It seems like we'll just be checking if we have any other one who's requesting to go live before we wrap up, so that we can see if there's anything on your mind. I see that there's somebody who's willing to say hello. Hello, Princess. How are you?
Hi, Usmadevuke.
Idea.
Hi to everybody who's watching as well. I just feel like this topic is just very close to my heart. And I wanted to say a lot, but I feel like Dr. Linda just took all my points. But one thing that I wanted to share was the fact that I really despise the saying boys shouldn't cry. I really, really hate it. I remember even in my days as being a groundbreaker, I would usually share that to say, before you are male or female, you're human first. So you can't separate between those two things. There is just no way. And I just wanted to leave that as a final statement to say that as much as we might talk about this starting at home and communities and whatnot, it starts with us treating each other as humans first. That's it.
That's true. Buthu. Bafethu Buthu. That next
Because, I
person
mean,
is just a living, breathing human being, just like you. So as much as do the same to them, Agree, treat others as you would like to be treated. How treat her nicely now, how that next time you get a 5-star treatment. But if the treatment is not there, I have balance.
Tabaya gender is actually limiting in this day and age whereby we have LGBTQI plus. You can't really even, you know what I mean? So
you know.
You should just remember to just treat each other as humans, and respect is the key element that we should treat one another, and then we will be growing as a country, as a universe, etc.
Thank you for the wise words. I really hope they have heard that we just need to treat each other courteously. So let's just respect each other. If we are respecting boundaries, if we are respecting each other, we are bound to be raising those kids who will know that growing up as a boy child, you need to respect everyone regardless of their gender. Okay, my dear, thank you very much for coming through. It was nice chatting to you. Toodles. Okay, guys, that was the live session that we had for today. If I understand well, I'm not sure if there's still someone who wants to go live. Okay, Bonatago says that she wants to ask something very personal and anonymously. So, okay, my dear, you can do so by inboxing Love Life. Just send your inbox to Love Life, and the engagement will be done with you anonymously, so privately, so without anyone knowing that you had such a discussion. Anything that you want to talk to a counselor about, or anything that you feel that is pressing on you, just remember that you can utilize the inbox, you can DM, and anything that you do there is strictly confidential. There is nothing that will be discussed on the inbox with you by a counselor that will be shared with anyone. All the things that are being discussed via inboxes, they are exactly that. Personal and very, very close to the heart. So we don't reveal anything by anyone. So please do send that inbox so that you can engage with the counselor regarding the issues that you are having, and hopefully they'll be able to assist you. Failure to do so, they will definitely be able to refer you where you can be able to receive the assistance that you need. With that being said, let's quickly check if there's anyone else willing to go live before we wrap up. Remember, we are Love Life NGO. We are still the advocates for the young people. We are here for the young people, about the young people, and with the young people. This platform is about you. Remember, you can reach us on all social media platforms. Love Life NGO, we are there. You can reach us on Facebook. You can also reach us on Instagram, Love Life NGO. And you can send a please call me to 083-323-1023, and always talk to one of our counselors. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. And how are you, dear?
I'm so sorry. I'm still at work, but I was listening to the discussion and I love it. I love the way Dr. Linda was explaining everything, because men are actually neglected in society. They are not seen as weak. They're not seen as people that need to be loved. And I've seen this firsthand with my own father. So my dad actually lacked appreciation. So he would go to his utmost, like the least that he had, to try and please his mother, because he was raised by the grandmother. He was never nearby the mother. So I can see that it had a lot of impact on his life growing up. So we need to be more compassionate, show them love without gender preferences, and try our best to comfort them, because everyone needs a hug every now and again. Sometimes you just need to be told that you are wonderful, you are appreciated, you're an amazing human being, and that's all. So the words that we speak, the words that we plant, they really do matter.
Thank you,
Yes,
thank you
that
for
was my
highlighting
own
that point. And I hope that you show your father appreciation, nurturing, and caring. Ne? I hope you continue caring and remind him that he's the best dad in the world.
Yeah, I do, but things have happened that broke us apart, as a family. Now, the older I get, is the more that I can see that, no, man, there was something wrong in the background. It was because of the way he grew up, the way he was, treated, that caused everything. So as old as I get, it's the more like I see the truth behind his pain, because it was actually pain. So if we can focus more on men, because women, we are very flexible as women. If a man shows you compassion, you reciprocate. If they show you love and tenderness, you reciprocate. We are just gentle as women. So with men, it's more harsh. They must do this, they must not do that. Even if they do provide, like they're being compressed and then told that it is what they're supposed to do. But a simple thank you, oh my gosh, that was amazing. It never leaves our mouth, especially from us Black people. I think it's more directed to us, because we feel the pressure more often than other races.
Okay. No, I'm really grateful that you managed to come to the platform and open up about something that is so very close to your heart, my dear. And it is true. As families, we need to stick together. As families, we need to be supportive of each other. Where others are weak, that's where we need to be their strength. We need to be balancing each other's weakness instead of tearing them down. And keep in mind that should you ever feel that you need someone to talk to on your own space, you are welcome to do so via inbox. You can also send a please call me and speak to one of the counselors. because we know that challenges are there on a day-to-day basis, and we need
Exactly.
that emotional and psychosocial support so that we can get through them. So thank you very much. I really appreciate that you managed to open up, and I hope to be here from you soon, and continue being that loving daughter who's very observant, and please continue giving daddy the reassurance.
Thank you very much. And for men, we are here for you too. Yeah. Bye.
I hope those gentlemen are listening out there. Bye bye, my dear. Lovely day further.
Bye.
Okay, guys, I take it that is the discussion that we had for today. That is the conversation that we've been having. And as I be wrapping up this conversation, remember the boy child matters. The boy child is very important. Your child is still your child regardless of their gender. Just because someone is a boy, just because the gender is different, it doesn't mean that they are any less of kids than the girl child. Always keep in mind that your child needs positive role models. Your boy child needs proper guidance. Your boy child needs unconditional love. Your boy child needs to be nurtured and groomed into being this responsible young man that you would like them to be. And in order for that to happen, you always need to be coming to the party. You cannot be saying a child is growing up this way, where else you know very well that as a parent, or even as a neighbor, even as a friend, as an uncle, as a brother, as an aunt, as a sister, you are not playing any positive role. You always need to ensure that you are active in this boy child's life so that they know they have someone to count on, so that they know should anything happen out there, they always have someone that they can count on. Because if we neglect giving or providing a safe space to the boy child, who do we expect them to turn to? That's when we'll be seeing the use of substances, be it alcohol, be it drugs, be it smoking. Those things are there because they will be feeling that they have no one to turn their backs on. They have no one that they can count on. Everyone is turning their backs on them. So remember, a boy child is just as important as a girl child. When there is something that needs to happen, you need to understand that at the end of the day, conversation continues. At the end of the day, grooming doesn't end. Grooming doesn't stop. You continue nurturing. You continue showing support. You continue loving the child regardless of their gender. And at the end of the day, you know what they say, you never give up on your child. Just because there are challenges doesn't mean that you need to be giving up on your child. Every child is unique. Every child has a different personality, but at the end of the day, we know with the right steering towards the right direction, every child is able to make a turnaround and become the better young person that we are hoping them to be. So with that being said, remember this platform is for you, about you, and with you. So for this platform to continue being there as a young person, you can always be present as a young person. You can be there so that you can have a conversation with us, so we can talk about anything and everything that is on your mind, anything that you feel that is important to you, anything that is giving you a headache, anything that is giving you that itch is definitely something that is worth paying attention to. Feel free to engage with us. You can request to go live with us if you have anything on your mind. You just request to go live. We have a discussion, and we can also have those discussions via inboxes on Love Life NGO on Facebook, even on Instagram. You can DM us. The discussion can continue. Let's keep the discussion going, but most importantly, be the change that you want to be. Be the beetroot. Let that be the message that you are carrying today, to know that you need to be the change that you want to see out there. And most importantly, just because you come up from a different setup of a family doesn't mean that by default you are bound to be on the negative side. The most important point is that keep your head held up. As a parent, do your best. Ensure that you keep continuing being the best that you can be. With that being said, lovely people, remember you can talk to our counselors by simply sending a please call me to 083 323 1023, 083 323 1023, and our counselors will definitely be there to engage with you and have a discussion about anything that you might feel that is in your mind, anything that you feel that you want to talk about. They will definitely be there and chat to you. Love Life NGO still remains the advocate for the young people. We will always be there for you, with you, and here for you. I see that we have someone who also requested to join. Hello.
Hello.
What's on your mind?
Hello.
How
Hello,
are you?
Asmalebukai. I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm
Good
good, my
day.
baby. What's on your mind?
Well, I had two questions, well, but now they were answered well. So I can just say Dr. Linda gave us quite It was
Network.
really good and it was very insightful because I'm the only girl at home. So this thing yokuthi abantwana badinga ukureprimanda all the time, especially boys, I understand that we just need to nurture them, give them that thing, the love that we girls get, especially since I'm saying I'm the only girl child. Mina bayangidodoseka high. So I think we need to do the very same thing with guys, bakhule nabo with that thing ukuthi umamami angidingi ukuthi ngiye ngaphandle just so that I can get uthando lolo. Uyabona? So yeah. Aishemu Dr. Linda gave us a lot actually. She gave us a lot. It was really insightful. So yeah, thank you.
Now that is very interesting. Coming from a girl child. So you want to share that of
Yeah.
Hey, this child, you don't want to be the center of attention, only one. You want sharing.
Sometimes it's too much. Bias abuse. Bias abuse, but not in a bad way.
Okay, yeah, no, continue showing your brothers love and show them that
Yes.
you are there for them. Always reassure them that they have someone to talk to. They have a sister that they can confide in and a sister who loves them unconditionally no matter what.
Exactly. They don't
Okay,
need
my
to
dear.
go out and do wrong stuff just because they need to be noticed.
No,
Yeah.
they are still noticed and appreciated, even though they are being
Yes.
good boys. That's what we want.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you very much for your time, my love. Anything else on
It's a
your mind?
pleasure. Akuti? Akahuta
Anything else on your mind? Oh, we good to
Maleb.
go.
Oh,
Ho na
okay.
le ntho e ngata
All
o
right.
no batla ho e bua kapa o grant?
Ke sha ke ne ke tshilo ke re ke sorted.
Oh, o sorted o mnate nje.
Ke happy.
Okay, ntla ga le happy le nna ke happy. Okay, my dear. Bye bye. Have a lovely day.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, guys, that was how we're wrapping up the show for today. Thank you very much for tuning into the chat. We had a very productive and fruitful chat. Hopefully, this will continue. Remember, this platform is about you, for you, and with you. If you are not actively engaged in the chat or in the platform, it simply means we are not doing what we are supposed to be doing. So I humbly request that please take care of your emotions. Your emotional women being matters. Your well-being is just as important as much as your physical one. Counselors are there for you. Send a please call me to 083 323 1023 and speak to a counselor about anything that is bothering you. Also DM us on Facebook Love Life NGO and on Instagram Love Life NGO, and we will definitely be there for you. Today's message: be the change that you want to be. Continue, go out there and be that beetroot. With that being said, let's hope to meet again next week, same time, same place, for another fruitful discussion. With that being said, have a lovely day. Toodoo.